fair to say that the Trump administration has revoked several pro-electric vehicle policies since getting back into the White House. For example, the EV tax credit went away at the end of September, effectively making most new electric vehicles $7,500 more expensive overnight. Also, California's efforts to invoke a new gasoline car sale ban in 2035 has been blocked by the central government. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that's what's been happening. Now though, things may go even further because the federal government might revoke a $1.1 billion award to two of Detroit's big three, General Motors and Stellantis. This award was going to be towards electric vehicle production as well. This could very much hamper the future of electric vehicles in the US, but is this the right move if they go about doing it, and what is their rationale behind it? Let's have a look at the full story here, guys, as always. So the transition towards producing electric vehicles is not a cheap one. All of these automakers, with the exception of relatively new ones like Tesla and Rivian, all of them have a storied history when it comes to internal combustion power. Now, they have a lot of facilities. They have factories in the United States. They have factories in Mexico, in Canada, in other countries as well. They are all around the world. They have a lot of facilities, and a lot of these facilities can be repurposed in order to actually make electric vehicles instead. Maybe not entirely, maybe only partly. Compare it when you think, the easiest way to think about it basically is how much would it cost to make an extension for your house. Turn it into a 4-bedroom house, whereas before it was a 3-bedroom house. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it costs $20,000 to do that. I'm just plucking a figure out of the air there. Now, that might sound relatively expensive, but I guarantee you it will be a lot less expensive than tearing your entire house up and building a new one. That would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars easily. No problem whatsoever in that regard. And it's the same when it comes to these factories as well. It costs a lot of money to adapt them, but it costs a lot more to make new ones. So a lot of these assembly plants are being, at least in part, either expanded or repurposed to produce electric vehicles. And that's essentially what this grant was going to be, a $1.1 billion grant from the United States government to both General Motors and Stellantis to be able to let them retool, that is the phrase that's being used here, when it comes to their plants. General Motors was going to receive $500 million of this, with Stellantis receiving the other $600 million. Specifically as well, when it comes to GM, this was going to be spent on the Lansing Grand River assembly plant for electric vehicle manufacturing, with Stellantis spending $335 million to revive its Belvidere assembly plant, also to make electric vehicle pickups, and $250 million was going to go towards Indiana Transmission Plant, also to make electric vehicle parts. But according to reports, this grant is potentially going to go away. In fact, there's over $12 billion of investments on the chopping block potentially for the Trump administration. Why? Well, the government shutdown. Don't worry, we're not going to go too in-depth about the government shutdown, but essentially it's costing them a lot of money not to be able to do the things they're going to do, and there is going to be a deficit from this. That $12 billion is on the line potentially because that could reimburse the government effectively at that point. And this doesn't come out of nowhere as well. For example, the Department of Energy in the United States, they have announced that they are cancelling over $7.5 billion worth of projects across the US due to these cuts. So there you go. Will the EV plans go away? Will that grant go away? Well, given Trump's previous form when it comes to cutting these environmental policies, it is definitely something they would consider getting rid of. Not least, of course, because they've cut $7.5 billion from the Department of Energy for something similar as well. But is this the right move from the US? Get your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I want to hear what you have to say on this as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world today, and we'll see you very soon.